Hey guys, Gary, grateful recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I was thinking about the four horsemen this morning: terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. And the times that I would wake up after drinking and using and be completely terrified about how shitty my life is, having no vision of where I'm headed, where I'm going, and where am I going to get my next fix? How am I going to get the money to get that next fix? It is a shitty way to live. It's an awful way to live. And if you're living that way, there is hope, right? I'm going to just read something really quick. It's one paragraph, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this, okay? Now, if you're suffering from fentanyl addiction, any kind of drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and this hits home, let me know in the comments box. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe while it's early. Okay, this is on page 151 of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Vision for you, middle of the paragraph. The less people tolerated us, the more we withdrew from society, from life itself, as we became subjects of King Alcohol, King Fentanyl, King Cocaine, whatever you want it to be. As we became subjects of King Alcohol, shivering denizens of this mad realm, the chilling vapor that is loneliness settled down. It thickened, ever becoming blacker. Some of us sought out sordid places, hoping to find understanding and companionship and approval. Momentarily we did. Then would come oblivion and the awful awakening to face the hideous four horsemen: terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. Unhappy drinkers who read this page will understand. I understand. Hell, man, I can wake up in terror, bewilderment, sober. I did the other day. And this is the great thing about being in recovery. And the difference about being in recovery and not being in recovery, if you're struggling with any addiction, is here it is. It's this simple: a decision. A decision to leave that world behind and start a new path. It's that simple. And you can see light with it. You'll feel the light within yourself once you make that decision. You know what? I'm going to make a decision to change my life today. And anybody can do it. And it's a daily thing, especially when you're new. It's a daily decision to make, and even once you have time under your belt, it's still a decision. Do I want to live my life this way, or do I want to suffer? Because we could suffer sober. We could suffer without putting alcohol and drugs in our body, because we suffer from an obsession of the mind, the compulsion of the body. We are bodily and mentally different than people who do not drink and use substances, or who are not addicted to them. So I could wake up in this. I did the other day, and the great thing is I knew I had a solution. I was completely in fear and riddled with fear about a situation going on in life right now, and what I did was I went to a meeting. As soon as I left that meeting, I was in the meeting, and I could just feel that fear dissipate, right? I listened to the guy share, the guy who opened the meeting. He did his little 3 to 5 minute pitch, and someone else shared. I listened to it. I got something, and it's like all that fear started falling away. And then I got to share about what was wrong and how I was afraid. And I called another alcoholic. I called another drunk who's sober and who understood my fear. And he's probably the one who suggested I went to the meeting, and I did that. But I don't really remember how that went down, but I know I did those two things, and I did not live in fear the rest of the day. It would crop up, and I would think about it, and then I would think about something else instead. I would pray, God, please remove my fear and direct my attention to what you would have me be today. That's the solution, you guys. Meetings, other people, other alcoholics, other drug addicts, and prayer. That's it in a nutshell. We got to get out of self. You know, if we're sober and we encounter the four horsemen, we never know when we're going to encounter them, right? Could be. It's usually something on the outside in our world is going sideways, and we become fearful. Well, go to a meeting, call another alcoholic and share about it, and ask God to remove your fear and direct your attention to who He would have you be today. And you know, when we're thinking about ourselves and thinking about how am I going to fix this problem, how am I going to make my life better, how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that, for me, there's no solution in it. I'm constantly reminded that the solution has nothing to do with the problem. The solution is always spiritual, because what we suffer from is a spiritual malady. You know, we have a spiritual malady, and the way we combat that is throwing ourselves into service with others, to help others, to get out of self, and through prayer. God makes that possible, by the way. So it's been 6 minutes, 39 seconds. So I want to touch the fentanyl thing. Fentanyl, it's a dangerous drug, you guys. It's the #1 leading cause of death in the United States right now. It took my son, Brandon Brown, it took his life September 20th of 2022. And it's been a hard road trying to get through that. And I've been doing it sober. So you can do anything if you bring God into the picture. I brought God into the picture, and He has protected me from drink and drug. They disguise pills like Vicodin, codeine, ecstasy, Xanax. They're disguising these pills on the street to look like pharmaceutical pills, but really they're pills that have fentanyl in them. And many of them have lethal doses of fentanyl, especially if you have a low tolerance. You take one pill, you go to sleep, you never wake up, you end up a statistic. So be careful out there, you guys, if you're still drinking and using. And remember, prayer, meetings. Admit you have a problem to your innermost self and get some help.